Welcome back to Every Stress YouTube channel. In today's class, we're going to learn how to make this beautiful side cowl drape dress without joining. Okay, so this is the side, and you can clearly see that we do not have any seam on the side. It's not going to have any joining on the side. It's going to have pleats that forms a drape on the side, and then it's going to have a slit at the center front. It also has pleats on the half length of the upper part and also at the back. So this is what we have at the back. At the back, you're going to have a strap on the neckline area, and then you're going to have a zipper running through the back so that it can be worn easily. This is what it looks like. It's really beautiful and simple to make. I'm going to take you through how to cut and sew this in this class. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so this dress does not have a side seam, so it means it's going to drape on the side, but there is not going to be any side joining to it. So I'm going to be working with this miniature. It involves a lot of splashing and spreading, so I want everything to be on the table so that you will see it well. That is why I'm going to work with this size. So if you're doing yours, you apply the same method, you just work with your actual measurement. So the main tutorial is going to be on the skirt, so I'm going to start with that. Then when we are done with the skirt, we'll cut the half length as well. So you can see this is the size of my miniature. I have my fabric folded like this. This is the front and this is the back. The back has a zipper allowance, so this is the zipper allowance for the back. Let me just mark it out so that we can see it better. So this is going to be my center back and this is going to be my center front. So I have my hip line here. So on the waistline, what you just need to measure is your waist circumference divided by 4. So you mark that on your waist. So you can actually add that to this. I'm not adding that to it because I'm still going to close it up. There's no side seam, so I'm just going to mark my waist circumference divided by 4. This does not have a side seam. Like I said, there is not going to be any joining at the side. I'm just going to add seam allowance to the center front when I want to join it. So I'm not going to be adding any side seam to this. So from there, you go over to your hip and you divide your hip circumference divided by 4 as well. So this is my hip circumference divided by 4. And then over here, I'm going to go to my hem. So for the hem, it has a pencil hem. So you can deduct maybe 1.5 or 1 inch or 2 inches from your hem. That's for your actual measurement, the life size measurement. So for this, I'm just going to maintain the measurement that I use for my waistline on the hem line as well. So what you just need to do is to go ahead and connect all of this together. So you connect from your waist to your hip, from your hem to your hip, and then I'm going to connect to my waist like this. So you can see now that we have our full skirt pattern, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So like I said, because there is no joining on the side seam, what I'm going to do now is to detach it. This is my front and this is my back. So the side seam here where you're supposed to have your joining, I'm going to go ahead and just close it up like this. You're going to take it together and then close it on the side with your masking tape. I've gone ahead to join it together. You can see this is the side seam, so we are not going to have any side seam. That's why we are closing it. So this is the center front, this is the center back with the zipper allowance, and this is the waist. So if you notice, we have pleats on the waist, and the pleats on the waist is what is going to form the drapes, the cowl that we are going to be having on the side. So to get the pleats that we are going to have on the waist, I'm going to mark my slash line. I'm going to be using slash and spread to introduce the volume to create the pleats and drape. So depending on the amount of slash lines that you want, so this is my center front. From my center front, I'm going to mark maybe 1 inch or 1/4 inch, and then from there I'll start marking 1/4 inch or 1 inch. So you can do as many slash lines as you want, but for me, I'm going to, so here from the zipper allowance, remember this is where the zipper allowance is, I'm going to mark 1 inch, and then from there I'm going to mark the same 1/4 inch that I have. So I'm going to be having about 3 slash lines, okay, which is okay for me. So for you, you can have more or less. So I'm going to come to the hip. So from where my hips, the first line that I'm going to connect it to is going to be around the hip area. So from where the hip stop, I'm going to come down by maybe 1 inch or 1.5. So I'm going to do 1.25. So from there again, I'm going to do another 1.25. So you can see the 3 points, 1 2 3. So I'm going to be matching into the 1 2 3 1 2 3 that I have here. So you can do that with the aid of your curved ruler. So the first point that you have here, I'm going to go ahead and connect like this. So the same way you have connected for one side, you do the same thing for the other side as well. Okay, so this is going to be my slash line. So I'll go to the second point and then connect it to the point that I have there as well. So as you're connecting to one side, you flip it and do the same thing for the other side as well. So to the last one, I'm going to be connecting them together like this. And then once I connect this, I'm going to flip and connect to the second one. So you can do as many pleats as you want, but these are the pleats that I am going for mine. So after doing this, now you're going to label it because you're going to be cutting it out completely. So I'm going to label this and then write back. You label this and write front. So 2, I'll label back. 2, I'll label front. 3, I'll label back. 3, I'll label front. So now that we have this out of the way, what I'm going to do now is to remove the patterns. I'm going to remove the paper that I used to hold the pattern together. The sellotape is peeling the paper, so I'm just going to cut through it. If you are using a tape that can be easily removed, you just need to remove it, but for me, I'm just cutting the side so that I can separate the front and back. So after separating the front and back, this is what you're going to have. So I'm going to go ahead now and cut this off completely. So you're going to be cutting along the line that you created. If you notice, you will see that we did not touch our center front and our center back. You're not going to be having any drape there. It's just going to be a regular seam. The only pleating that we're going to have is going to be on the waistline, and that is where we introduced our extra volume. So I'm going to cut for this one as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing for the back. You're going to cut out this back as well. Okay, so you can see now that I have slashed it. So I'm going to bring a fresh paper now, and then we're going to spread it on it. So because we have labeled it, it's going to be easy. You're not going to get confused. So this is a new pattern. As a guide, I'm going to go ahead and divide this paper into 2. So you're going to get the midpoint of the paper and then mark it out. So that's going to guide you on how to spread. So once I mark it out like this, I'm going to bring my patterns that I cut out, and then I'll start spreading it. So I'll start from the bigger one, which is this. So the one for this center, I'm going to take it there. The one for the front, and then this side is going to be for the back. So now I'm going to start from here. I'll make sure that this hem touches each other like this, and then I'm going to spread it. So now you can spread as much as you want, but once you are spreading, okay, you can tape this part down. You make sure that you measure what you have from the center to this place, and you have exactly the same thing on this side as well. You want them to be equal. So I'm going to go ahead now and tape this down first. So I've gone ahead to tape it down. You can see, if you measure from the center to where the tape is, I have 2 inches here, and then I have the same 2 inches on this side. So make sure that they are equal, and then you tape it down so that it can relax. So after taping this, I'm going to go ahead and look for number 3 for the front and number 3 for the back. So I'm going to place it as well. So here you can mark maybe 2 inches from where this one stops as well. So it's going to be around here. You can do 2 or 1.5, depends on what you want. And then you're going to take them down like this as well. Make sure that the space that you're going to be having on this part is the same, and then you tape it down. So you go ahead and do the same thing for the number two, you take the number two of the front and back, and then till you do the same for the number one. So I'll take all of this down now and then bring it back to show us what we have. Okay, so I've gone ahead to arrange it. So while arranging it, you notice that I have spaces here. That's because I want it to rhyme on this part. So I was paying more attention on this side because I don't want a situation whereby if I'm placing it at the center here and I'm trying to close it up, it may not match on this part. So that was why I made this, so that I will have something straight on this side. So this is what it looks like now. So the next thing now is to cut it out. So to cut it out, I'm just trying to close this part, and then I'm going to use my tracing wheel to through it. Okay, so once I open it out, I'll clearly see where I'm supposed to draw on. So I'll do the same thing for all of them. So I'll match the 2 and 3 together as if I want to sew it, and then use your tracing wheel. You can place your ruler there as well to mark it out, so that you can see how you are going to mark it, in order for you not to have any shortage by the time you are done. So once you open it out, you will see where your tracing wheel is. So I'll do all of this for everything now. So once that is done, I'm going to go ahead and then connect it. So here I can see how my tracing will mark this for me. So I'll go ahead and connect everything together. So from here it goes like this, and then just a little bit higher than what I have here. So I'm going to connect everything. I don't want this to be too long. So you can see how I'm connecting them together. I'll do the same thing for the other side as well. Okay, so you can see that I've connected this here. I'll do the same thing to the other side. So I've joined it, and you can see that I added that and seam allowance all around to sew it back. So at the center front here, like I said, there's going to be a seam on the center front. So I added that finish for that as well. On the center back, I don't need to add seam allowance because I already have my zipper allowance there. So here on the hem, you don't want your hem to be so sharp. So here I'm going to bring my curved ruler, and then I'm going to find a way to just match the center here with a curve. So you want it to be okay, you want it to blend like this. So after curving it down like this, you can go ahead and add half an inch all around the hem as well. So once you have it, I'm going to grab my scissors now, and then I'll cut out what I have here. Okay, so with this we are done with the pattern. So you just place this on your fabric, and then you cut out 2 of this on your fabric. So I've cut it out. This is what our pattern looks like. I'm going to bring my fabric, put it on fold, and then cut it out. So I'm done cutting it on my fabric. This is what I have. So in order for you not to get confused, you're going to notch the zipper allowance. Then you'll be able to know that that is your back side. Okay, so after notching the zipper allowance, another important notch you can do is the spaces that you have in between the spread. So once you notch it, you will know where to match it up to each other when you want to sew. I hope you understand that. So I'll go ahead and place a notch, or you can just mark it. So in this case, for it to be obvious, I'm just going to use my marker. But please, if you're working on your fabric, don't use marker to mark on your fabric. I just want us to be able to see what I'm doing very well. So I'm just looking for where the spread is, and then I'm connecting that with my marker. So I'll do the same thing for the other side. Once you've done all of that, the next thing is to go ahead now, and then you detach your pins so that you can access your fabric. So once I detach the pins, I'm going to take off the pattern, and then I'll go ahead and sew it so that it will be easier for me to recognize. So this is a Duchess fabric, you can see, and I have already laid them right side facing right side. So here, this is my center front. I'm going to go ahead and run a stitch. Remember, we added that finish on the center front, and then on the center back as well, I'm going to stitch using my zipper allowance. So I'll just leave the part where I'm going to be sewing my zipper open. So depending on the length of your zipper, you stop sewing there and then you stitch every other one close. But for the center front as well, it has a slit at the center front. Remember, the hem of the this thing is very very small. It's a pencil dress, so you're going to determine where the slit is and then leave that part open. But you can just sew it first so that you don't get confused. Then when you are done, you can loosen out that part. So I'll go ahead and run the stitch, and then I'll bring it back for us to pleat. I've gone ahead to run the stitch, and like I said, I close up everything because I don't want us to get confused. So this is the zipper. I just back stitch here to know where I'm going to lose. So I'm going to loosen it up to here when I'm done to install my zipper. And for the center front as well, I'm going to start losing it here to open the slit. So this is what we have. So the next thing, I remember, this is the waist, this is the center front, and this is the side. So the small notch that we have here, the opening that we have here, I'm going to open it out now so that we can see it the way it is. So this is my center back here, this is my center front here. So I'll go ahead and take this to the sewing machine now and then close up this opening. Let me show you on the pattern where I'm closing. Okay, I'm closing this part. This is the part I'm closing. So once you sew your front and back, you'll be able to close them up like this, and then I'm going to run a stitch here before I start the pleat. I have run the stitch. You can see now that it is completely closed on this side. See, so it is closed as well. So you are going to place it the way it's supposed to be. This is the center back, this is the center front, and these are the side already sewn, already cut together. That's why we don't have any seam there. So I'm going to turn it to the right side now, and then we'll start making the pleats. So this is what we have. All this excess that we have here is going to form drape. So you can clearly see my markers. So those are the places that we are going to pleat. So I'm going to be pleating towards the center front here. So you can see from here to here, we are going to have a pleat. So all you just need to do is to take it together like this, and then I'll hold with my pin. So here again, from here to here, we'll have another pleat. So I'll take it together and then hold that with my pin as well. Okay, so then for the third place is from here to here. So I'll do the same thing there, and then I'm going to hold with my plate. So you can see the little drapes that we are forming here. So you go over to this side as well, the same way you pleated. I'm going to be bringing this towards the center front, and then I will hold with my pin. I'll do the same thing here. You look for where your drapes are, and then you pin it. So with this, you're going to have your actual waist measurement back. It's going to return back to your actual waist measurement. So I'll pin this as well. Remember, this is a miniature, please. If you're working with yours, you use your measurements. I'm just showing you the method so you can see what we have. So we'll turn to the back as well. Okay, so this is the front. So the same thing I did for the back, I will do to the front. So you're going to look for where your notches are, and then you pin. So you do this for this side and this side as well. So you can see now that I have pinned it, and you can see that the waist now is smaller. It has returned to its original shape, and then you can see that the hem now is straight as well. It's no longer curved. Okay, so my own hem is tapered. You can see how it's looking. If you want yours to be a little bit straight, you can maintain the measurement you work with for your hip. But this is how I want mine. I'm going to open it at the center front so that the person can walk easily. So what you just need to do now is to go ahead and hold this with your stitch so that it can be permanent, and then we'll work on the front, on the upper part as well. I have gone ahead to join them together, and this is what the skirt looks like now. So I'm going to keep the skirt aside so that we can work on the front, on the half length. The half length is simple, it's just a simple kimono, you can see. So I have cut it out. This is my neck width. Okay, so from here to here is your shoulder back measurement plus your sleeve, depending on where you want your sleeve length to be. So here is going to be the sleeve opening, and then on the sleeve opening here, once you mark where your sleeve is going to stop, you can just come in by maybe 2 to 3 inches there, and then you connect it down. So after that, you're going to connect like this. So for your neckline, you can use a V or round neck. I'm using V neck for both front and back. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors now, and then I'll cut it out. So this is my shoulder slope, this is my sleeve opening, and this is the side. So I'm going to lay my fabric on each other and cut the front and okay. So I've placed it on my fabric. You can see, like I said, I'm working with both v-necks for both front and back. This is my zipper allowance for the back, so I'll cut into the zipper allowance, and then I'll go ahead and cut out my v-neck. So for the back, you can make it a bit lower. There's a rope at the back, but you can also use any neckline design that you want. So this is our waistline. You can obviously see that the waistline is more than the actual waist we are working with. This is quarter of the waistline, and if you compare it to the skirt, this waistline that we have on the skirt now is half of the waistline, so you can see that it is big. Let me open it out so that you can understand what I'm talking about. If I remove my pins now and I take out the pattern, you will clearly see what the full waistline looks like. So this is the waistline, the actual waistline that I'm working with. You can see that we have excess here. So this excess that we have, you can either pleat it like this, or you can gather it to meet the actual waistline that you need. So before I do this, I'm going to go ahead and join it on the side. You can join it on the side before or after. So here I'm going to run a stitch on the side here and join it on the shoulder, sorry, and then I'm going to join the side seam as well. So after that, I'm going to pleat or gather both the front and back to my actual waist measurement. I have joined it on the shoulder and the side seam. So what I'm going to do now is to go ahead and pleat the waist to my actual waist measurement. So the pleat is done now. You can see now that we have a smaller waist. So now what you just need to do is to bring in the skirt. So I'm going to be joining the skirt and the blouse together. So this is my skirt. You can see your skirt here. So what you just need to connect them is the band. So for your band, I am working with a 1 inch band. You cut your band in the size of your waistline. So I have already cut out my band, and then because this is a Duchess fabric, it's kind of slippery, so you want your band to be steady. So I added interfacing to this. You're going to make sure that the width is no more than 1 inch. So because of seam allowance, that's why it's this big. So I'm just going to cut that. So I need 1 inch. I'm going to use half an inch to sew it on the upper part and then sew it on the lower part. You can see that I doubled my band. That's because I want it to be really strong. So now on the center back here, remember that I said you don't have to join it on your center back. So here on the center back, I'm going to open up the zipper allowance there for the zipper. So I've opened up my zipper allowance for the back. You can see I opened it to where the zipper is going to be. So what is going to connect the two together is this band. Make sure that you cut your band on one single file. It's not going to be having a joining by the side because there is no joining on the skirt. You can see. So now I'll go ahead and join them together. Okay, so I've gone ahead to join it. You can see my 1 inch band here. This is the top, this is the lower part. So what I'm going to do now is to open the slit at the center front. You can see how small the hem is. So for the person to be able to work, I'm going to open the slit up to somewhere here. Then you're going to go ahead and hem it on the lower part. You hem your neckline, hem your sleeve, and then you fix a zipper at the back for you to be able to wear it, and your dress is ready. So I'll do all of that now and then take it to the mannequin so that we can see what it looks like. So this is what it looks like on the mannequin. You can see the V neckline for the front, and then for the back, after turning your neckline, you just sew a strap on the shoulder area like this to both sides of the back so that you can easily tie it up. Okay, so you're going to tie the rope like this. You can also use any neckline of your choice, but this is what you're going to have. So here at the back is going to have a zipper, and then on the side here you can see all of those drapes that we have, and you can clearly see that we do not have any side seam here. There is no joining at the side. So on the waistline you're going to see the pleats that we created with our slash and spread method, and this is the slit that we have at the center front so that the person can wear it easily. See the drapes that we have on the half length as well. You can achieve it by pleating just like I did, or you can gather yours to your band. So this is what it looks like. This is the sleeve, the cut together kimono sleeve. This is the side of the dress, and this is the back. So there is another way you can do this without pattern. Okay, you can actually do this directly on your fabric. If you like a tutorial on that, let me know in the comment section, and I'm going to film a tutorial on how you can do this without cutting on a paper, without doing slash and spread method. I hope you enjoy making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.